Good morning, everyone. Hammer here. It is Saturday morning, June 10th, National Get Outdoors Day, which didn't even realize until we got to the trailhead here and got a free day of parking. But we are in New Hampshire, the Pemi Loop Wilderness, planning to do the Pemi Loop this weekend. Super popular trail. I've done this loop a few times now. This is actually my fourth time here. I am with Victoria and my friend Marshall. Him and I went to school together, and he does a lot of hiking, but this is actually his first backpacking trip, his first overnight, so we're super excited about that. Going to give him a little taste of the backpacking world and hopefully make a backpacker out of him. He drove up from Pennsylvania yesterday, came up to us in New York, and then we made the extra 4.5 hour drive last night. Stayed at a hotel in Lincoln, New Hampshire. Woke up early this morning and ate breakfast at Polly's Pancake Parlor, which was awesome.
Shit, is it this fucking busy?
I mean, it's Polly's Pancake Parlor.
Wikipedia page.
Alright, well, we're gonna park right here.
Super excited for this hike. It's gorgeous. Probably one of my favorite sections of the AT. Is Franconia Ridge, so I'm excited to see that again. Going to finish getting my gear set up here and getting the car all situated and get out on the trail. The first little section of this trail is pretty much a dirt bike path. Nice, easy terrain to help get you warmed up. Just about done with that, and then we'll start our initial ascent. I think the first peaks we have to look forward to are the Bonds, so we'll be climbing for a little bit. The Pemi Loop is a very popular hike up here in the White Mountains. I've heard it to be known as the hardest day hike in the country. It's about 35 miles, give or take, and that's some pretty tough hiking. So to do it in a day or to trail run it is just wild to me. We're going to be doing 2 nights and 3 days of hiking. I think about 10 miles today, about 14 tomorrow, and then about 10 miles out on Monday. The weather looks like it's going to be hit or miss. Today they were calling for chances of showers pretty much up until this evening. Tomorrow is supposed to be clear, which we're thankful for. And then Monday could potentially have some showers too. So this could be a bit of a wet trip. We'll see. It's pretty beautiful right now. Hope it stays this way. Being here in the Northeast, all of us have been dealing with the smoke from the wildfires in Canada. That's another factor. We're really hoping that that's sort of cleared out and that we'll have nice views at these summits. It's really gonna suck if it's all white out up there because of the smoke, but we'll see. I think the whole camping situation's a little difficult for this loop as well. A lot of this loop is above tree line and at higher elevation, so you can't really camp up there. So you're sort of relying on the shelter areas and the campsites that have the caretakers and all that. Cost a couple bucks to stay there each night, but you really don't have any other choice. If we find some stealth sites on the way, then that's great. But if not, I think we're going to be using those designated spots. Tonight we're shooting for the Guyot shelter. Not sure exactly how you say it, but this loop can obviously be done clockwise or counterclockwise. We are going counterclockwise, and that seems to be the more popular route amongst people. It's a little more gradual elevation gain, whereas going clockwise, you do a lot of the elevation gain right away. So figured we'd make it a little easy on ourselves the first day and just kind of take it a little more gradual. I mean, none of this hike is really that gradual. It's a tough hike for sure. For now, we get this nice dirt path.
Maybe get that contact info while we're here. Seriously? This is amusing to you?
Tori doesn't like the bugs.
No, the bugs like me too much.
Yeah, well. The bugs are actually pretty bad. Wasn't really expecting it, but we're doing all right. We're about 5 miles in already, and we're still kind of on this flat shit. I didn't really remember this little flat section being so long. I thought maybe 2 miles, not 5, and then it doesn't look like it's really picking up quite yet either. But it's also been a few years since I've went clockwise, so we are having these little sprinkles of rain. Nothing too bad yet. We haven't really put on our rain gear or anything like that. Kind of feels good. The weather is not too bad. I think we're in the 50s right now. I read a low of 37 for the weekend, which would be awesome. Not sure if I buy that. I'm expecting a little colder, but it'd certainly be nice if that's true. In case no one can really tell, I'm definitely not a fan of cold weather. I don't really care to hike in cold weather. I just don't like it. Some people do, but I'll take a 100-degree summer day over a 20-degree night any day. And you can argue with me all day long, but it's just what I prefer. It just feels so good to be out here. It's been a while since we've done a hike. We did a little 1 night, 2 day thing a few months ago, but besides that, Tori and I just always have so much shit going on. It seems like, you know, we both work full-time at the moment and got a big ass garden that we're doing, and that takes up a lot of time, and hobbies, and just trying to see family and friends and everything else. It's just always something. So to get a free weekend to actually go somewhere and do a hike is it's nice to finally be out here. Definitely need to make it more of a priority, because it just really helps me, you know, sort of reset and calm down. Probably doesn't look like it, but getting a little bit of climbing finally. After not hiking for a while, I always kind of imagine plaque just falling off my arteries during the first climb.
Yeah. Well, that's gotta be too much.
It's just before 1 p.m. We're about almost 7 miles in for the day. And we've only been hiking for like 2.5 hours, so that's pretty damn good. Like I said, I don't really remember the stretch being this easy. We're still just waiting to get our ass kicked. We know it's coming. But we're gonna stop, take a little lunch, and get right back to it. I think we're planning, like I said, 11.2-ish for the day, so it's going quick. Doing pretty well so far. Tori says she wants to be a bug killer when she grows up.
I definitely got it, I just don't know where it went. Maybe not. There you go.
Tori and Marshall are doing the freeze-dried meals. I myself am just snacking right now because I just scarfed down the rest of the Polly's Pancake Parlor leftovers from this morning.
First time trying Fernway Food Co.
Fernway Food Co. We'll see how it is. Tori's vegan, so she's got to get fancy foods. I actually have vegan meals for this trip as well. From farm to summit. First time trying those, so we'll see how that goes.
And they have the compostable, sustainable packaging.
Compostable, sustainable packaging. Very important. My favorite trail snack besides American Spirit Yellows has always been the Sour Patch Kids. During the thru hike, we discovered the big kids, which are like triple the size of the regular kids, and these were a game changer. Still the go-to snack. I did quit smoking, by the way, for all those people who were bitching on YouTube about it. I am no longer a smoker. Thank you. Ooh, pretty. Very, very pretty.
Okay. That is not what I sound like.
Ooh. Finally getting above tree line here. Coming up on Bondcliff. And boy, we have a beautiful day. Here. I think we're up above tree line for most of, if not all of the rest of the day, before we get to Mount Guyot Shelter, Guyot, however you say it. It's one of the two. Beautiful day, like I said. We're hitting a little bit of this like mistiness, I guess, up here. Finishing up the Bondcliffs. But not too bad. Can't complain. This was supposed to be the rainy day, and it's been Perfect. So hopefully that's a good sign for the rest of the weekend. And I think we're all doing pretty good. All feel pretty good. I think the miles went pretty quick today. Not sure about everyone else, but I thought today flew by. So the 14 tomorrow is going to be a little tough, but this is making me feel a little better about it. And here's Tori taking off her fleece for the 300th time today, because she just thinks she's going to be cold and is always sweating after 2 minutes of hiking. These are the climbs that I remember in the Whites. We should be getting to camp very shortly though. Looking at the Far Out app, looks like there may be a couple stealth sites near the shelter. I'm just looking through some comments. Don't know if that's true or not, but that would be nice. One of the rangers at the trailhead this morning said that a lot of people were ahead of us and heading to the shelter. Again, I don't know how true that is. I guess we'll find out, but we're all in trekking pole tents. And of course these shelters and huts in the Whites, they only have the damn wooden tent pads, which really sucks. It is just before 6 p.m. We are setting up camp now. We found some stealth sites just before Mount Guyot. I still don't know how to fucking say it. Guyot. So this is nice. Now we don't have to pay to stay at the huts, and we heard there was a good crowd of people there, so we can avoid that, which is of course my preference. So the duplex is up. We're going to start cooking some food and just chill for a few hours. Trying out some new gear this hike. This is the Nemo Longbow, I believe it's called. Very similar to the Nemo Tensor Alpine, but they were sold out of the Alpines, so I got this. Should be warmer than the Neo Air X Lite that I usually use, and hopefully holds up a little better, because I did not have good luck with the Neo Airs. Tori's eating a Farm to Summit Harvest Green curry. How is it?
It's alright. I did not stir well, so I'm just now getting some of the seasoning. So far alright.
Okay. Got mine cooking. I have Farm to Summit, also Thai red curry. Excited to try it. Hopefully there's a little bit of spice to it. That's kind of my thing. Farm to Summit Thai red curry, definitely a win in my book. This stuff's really good. Just tastes super fresh. Got a nice spice. Definitely going to be a go-to. Tori's was just okay. I think we decided.
A man right in the sun.
The fucker wants food.
Yeah, of course he wants food. To make a bird noise.
This bird's just circling us.
Well, don't like talking.
End of day one, good day. A little cold, but not too cold. We're all pretty tired. It's what, 8 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's past Tori's bedtime. So I will lay here wide awake while she sleeps.
Okay. Okay. Big
Good
day
night.
tomorrow.
I'll see you in the morning for a big day.
Coffee?
It's about Sunday, or that was fucked up. It is 7:20 in the morning. It's Sunday morning. We are eating breakfast. Tents all taken down and all that. I'm just getting ready to start the day. Planning to do 14 and some odd miles to Liberty Springs Campground. I think we're all feeling yesterday a little bit, but I don't think it's too bad. Hoping for another clear day with clear skies so Tori can actually see these views for once. But first, Pop-Tarts and coffee. Just kind of fucked that up.
Yeah. So do it again.
And just like that, we're on the AT. This loop, about half of this loop is actually the AT. So it's super cool. It's almost like a coming home feeling. Love the AT. It'll always have a special place in my heart for sure. So pretty much ride the AT for the rest of today, I believe. I had a pretty good late night's sleep last night. I only woke up once or twice and didn't have any issues going back to sleep. The Nemo longbow pad felt good. It's definitely bigger than my Neo Air X Lite. You know, the footprint of it, if you will, is a little bigger because it's rectangular shaped. So I just didn't feel like so huge on it, I guess, like I did on pads in the past. But I slept well. It was warm. I'm also rocking this new Appalachian Gear Co. alpaca fleece hoodie. I've worn it, you know, in normal life many times. I've only hiked in it a couple times. It's definitely warm, breathes really well. I was a little nervous when I first started wearing it. It was super itchy, but it seems like it lofted up over time and doesn't really bother me anymore. So of course Tori stole my Melly, as you've probably noticed. As far as other little gear changes, I bought a new Light AF fanny pack. I got the large size. They have two different sizes now, and it's the Ultra material, not the Dyneema. It's supposed to be better and cheaper, I guess. So we'll see how it holds up. I'm also wearing the Ultra Olympus 5s. I've been using the Olympuses for a while. 4s were great. These feel even better. They actually feel a little more strong, stable. I don't know. They feel like they're going to hold up better, I guess I should say. Just a little more rigidity to them. I think that's it, actually. Tori and I definitely need a new tent. That duplex has seen better days. Got a bunch of patches in the Dyneema, and it's just it's a little too small for the both of us, especially with me using this larger pad. I definitely recommend a 2-person tent for 1 person and a 3-person tent for 2 people to give you enough room to be comfortable. If you're willing to sacrifice that comfortability, that's totally fine too. We did use that duplex for the whole through hike, pretty much, and we did fine. I forgot to mention that damn bird from last night. As we were sitting there eating dinner, it just kept, flying right above our heads, like kind of circling around us, getting within 2 feet of us. The thing was trying to take our food. It was just pecking away any crumb that we may have dropped. It was pretty funny. Like, you wouldn't really think of a bird like trying to take your food. I don't know, at least I wouldn't. But it was definitely becoming an issue. And actually this morning, Marshall and Tori had more encounters with this bird while I was still sleeping. But super funny. I think it was like a rat with wings. Nice steep climb to get the blood flowing first thing in the morning. Almost to the top of South Twin. South Twin Summit for a quick snack. So we are just heading down. Pretty much a long descent until we make the climb up Garfield. Galehead Hut is coming up, which we're planning to get water from. Maybe take another little break there. Weather is beautiful. I think it's a high of 72 today, which is just perfect. But it may or may not start to get cloudy this afternoon, so we're hoping it's still nice and clear when we hit Lafayette later on. You can kind of see Guyot Hut in the distance there, right there, and that peak right afterwards is Garfield. Just passed a few hikers who were definitely no-bo from Georgia, just judging by their conversation. And man, I'm super jealous. But also, they're going to have an early finish. I mean, what are they going to finish in July? Like, that's crazy. They must have started in February or something. Good for them. That was Galehead Hut. We stopped at for a little break there. It's a nice hut. I've never stayed in any of the huts because I think some of them are quite expensive to stay at for what you get. But they're nice to stop at to use the bathroom and fill up on water. During the through hike, Tori and I stopped at that hut first thing in the morning, and we swept the floors for a free breakfast, so that was nice of them also. I do think some of the huts allow for work for stays, but it's first come first serve, and they only allow certain people to do it. But that's the way to go if you ever want to stay at a hut in the Whites. Heading up Garfield now. I remember this being a pretty difficult climb. We'll see how it goes. Hoping to summit Garfield and take a lunch. Well, it's a late lunch at this point. We're a little behind on time. We were originally planning to stay at Liberty Springs campsite, but that's still another 8 miles away from us, I think. And we're already a good chunk into the day. So we will see when we get to the summit, have some lunch, how we're feeling. Believe it or not, this is the trail. Seems every time I do this, it's a little bit of a waterfall. We're at the top of Mount Garfield, taking a very late lunch. Just cooking up some ramen and whatnot right now. Given the time that we have left in the day and of the trip, I think we may have to cut this one short and take Franconia Brook back to the trailhead. We're just really pressing for time. But I will keep you updated. That's Franconia Ridge. And you can kind of see the whole loop goes around that mountain in the middle there. It's hard to put into one frame, but that's the Pemi Loop. I think we have decided that we're gonna head back down Garfield and then take the Franconia Brook trail back out. So that's pretty much splitting the loop in half. So unfortunately we won't get to see Lafayette and the Franconia Ridge, but it's okay, it'll be here for next time. For now, we're gonna head back down the waterfall that we just climbed and hopefully not break any ankles. And after that we should have a nice little 8-mile hike out to split up the rest of today and tomorrow. That'll give us plenty of time to get to the car and get home and all that good stuff. Up the waterfall, down the waterfall. Tori says she never wants to summit Garfield again. I could do it a few more times. Will now forever be known as the Garfield Waterfall. This is where Franconia Brook Trail meets Garfield Ridge Trail, aka the AT. AT Nobo is that way, AT Sobo is that way, and unfortunately we are going that way. Back to the car. If I remember correctly, it's a lot of marshy, easy shit like this. So got about 8 miles, 10 miles to the car.
Yeah.
10 miles to the car. Hoping to do at least 2 more today. Alright, we are at 13 Falls tent site. Getting all set up. Marshall's over there. We are starting our dinners. Tonight, another farm to summit. Green chili mac and cheese. Also looks good. If it's anything as good as the one last night, then I don't know. I guess they got a new customer. Tori's got Fernway, mushroom pot pie.
So far, so good.
Okay. We are all in bed. It is about 9 o'clock. Definitely all very tired today. It was a long day. About 8 miles out tomorrow. I think it's going to be a nice, easy 8 miles. Slow and steady decline. And then we hit that bike path that'll take us to Lincoln Woods Trailhead, the same way that we came in. I will see you in the morning. Well, I, for one, slept wonderful last night. You?
It was okay.
Okay. This whole trip's just okay for Tori, I guess. I slept great. It is about 5:30. Sure, 5:30 in the morning.
5:45.
I'm hoping to get out of here by 6:30. Should be a short, nice, easy day. And hopefully puts us in good shape to get home at a decent hour. Because unfortunately, we all have to work tomorrow. Good morning, good morning, good morning. A little sore this morning, but nothing too bad. I actually feel really good, surprisingly. It really does suck that we're not going to get to see Frank Onion Ridge this trip. There was no way in hell we were making it over the ridge yesterday, so we talked about possibly sticking with the same route, doing the whole loop, but adding the ridge onto this morning. We were thinking about tacking on the ridge to today and doing like a 14 miles out today. But it actually did start to rain this morning, so we may not have had the best view. So it makes me happy that we didn't make that decision. I think making some of these YouTube videos sort of hold you accountable, so you really want to get done what you set out to do. Even though we didn't get the full loop done, we still did 30 miles in the whites this weekend, which is great, especially for a couple people who are out of shape and a first-time backpacker as well. So I'm still pretty proud of that, and it was a fun trip. It was great. All the views were gorgeous. We had nice weather. Can't really complain too much. I forgot to mention this. That stupid bird from our camp the other day was trying to take our food. Marshall has a friend that's really into bird watching and things, so he sent him a picture of the bird to ask him what it was. It's nicknamed the camp robber, because apparently this type of bird is just fucking famous for terrorizing people's camps like that. It's freaking hilarious. Something that I've always done since I started backpacking is on the last day of a trip, you know, when I'm hiking to the car that day, or even on the through hike when it was a day that we were waking up and then hiking into a town. Since I know that my clothes are going to get washed and it doesn't really matter that they get dirty, I just wake up and hike in my sleep clothes, whatever that may be, leggings, shorts, whatever I slept in the night before. I just kind of roll out of my tent and throw my shoes on and go. It's something that seems kind of obvious, but I've never really heard anyone else mention it. Tori and I kind of talk about it, but it's like it's a good morality boost, I guess, to not have to change into wet clothes that last day or whatever. So if anyone else does this, let me know. I'm just kind of curious. I also have to say that the bugs were pretty fucking bad this trip. Marshall's the only one that brought any kind of bug spray, and Tori and I both stole it from him a time or two. Good bit of this last day, and even probably half of the first day, you're kind of walking right along water sources, so mosquitoes are just everywhere. And then climbing up Garfield, well, up and down Garfield, there were just clouds of flies over each of us. Another thing I'd like to know is how many of you guys sleep naked versus how many of you wear sleep clothes? I've been told that using a down quilt, it's supposed to insulate, you know, the feathers are supposed to insulate you the same way that they would a bird. And I've been told that wearing a layer of clothing between you and the down affects that insulation. So sleeping naked, you will actually stay warmer in a down quilt than if you were to wear sleep clothes. I did test this theory a little bit last night, and I'm not 100% sure either way, so I want to hear some thoughts. I have some friends that exclusively sleep naked in their tents, and they're always warm, so hearing that, you know, makes me think that it's true. I just I haven't tested it enough yet myself, but curious to hear what everyone else thinks. Well, I think that is a wrap for the weekend. I'm just about at the suspension bridge that's going to take me over into the parking lot and back to the car. I had a really good trip. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, despite us not quite sticking with the plan and changing things up. But it is what it is, and hoping to get back out, maybe get Marshall back out here to do the other half. That'd be super cool. I appreciate everyone watching these videos. It was never really my intention to create, you know, any sort of YouTube channel. The AT video was something that I made for myself to go back on and watch, and also something to show friends and family. I never would have imagined that video would have 60,000 views or whatever it has now. But I'm super appreciative of it. You know, I enjoy hearing from everyone, hearing feedback and commenting back and forth and all that. So thank you to everyone who watches. Tori and I are still kind of trying to figure out our lives and what's next for us, whether that be a through hike or some international travel. Either way, all things that I plan to document and share. So anyway, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Have a good summer. Get out and do some backpacking, all right? Peace.
Ha ha ha.